Hi, Artem. So I'm really happy you decided to go with the extra essay package. It was a really good decision. So you started writing. Let's see what you wrote here. The first one is about the English and Homestay program. Looks kind of short. I mean, it's probably okay in terms of length. Let me just double check. Yeah, 161 words. So it's not really long, but it's within the appropriate limit. So let's see what you actually said. Dear host family, I hope this letter finds you well. My name is Andrew Eng, and I will be your guest for the next 2 months. Mm, I will be your guest for the next 2 months through the English and Homestay program would probably be the best the best word here. I will arrive on Monday morning on this date at Heathrow, and I believe that I will be in front of your house at 11 a.m. Okay. I am a physician student from China, Wuhan. I am not smoking and have advanced level of English, so I hope I will not bother and burden you too much. I have some important questions about the UK and ask you for a piece of advice about living there. Do I need some cash in the UK or I can use a credit card everywhere? Should I take some warm clothes except a jacket for this time of year? Could I ask police officers about the right direction if I lose myself? How expensive is a mobile internet in the UK? I look forward to hearing from you. Yours sincerely. Okay. Um. All right. Obviously, I've been correcting a lot of your essays throughout the course. This was not great. Okay. At this point in your progress, I want to see a few more things from you. First of all, the first thing we have to talk about here is the tone. This is a formal letter. You don't know these people. In fact, you don't even refer to them by name. You call them host family, which means that the entire letter needs to be written in a very formal fashion. All right, so we'll talk a little bit about what that means. There was a lot of informal language here. The second thing is you never actually did this first thing, introduce yourself. Yeah, you said what your name is, but you never actually said anything further about yourself. You never said where, okay, yeah, you said I'm a physician from China. Fine. But just say a few words about yourself. Like when we introduce ourselves, there are 4 or 5 things we always say. My name is Ellen and I am an IELTS teacher from wherever, and I have been teaching IELTS for over, 12 years. Etc., etc. You might want to add a few things. You would probably add maybe some hobbies, some interests, something. Okay, so this is what we mean by an introduction. Um, I thought the way you organized your ideas was kind of strange because remember that these bullets are essentially they're giving you an outline for how you should organize your letter. And you didn't do that. You decided to kind of improvise, which didn't really work in your favor. Okay. Also, you never referred to them by name, so honestly, this should have been a yours faithfully. All right. Um, and then again, it's not that the grammar was particularly wrong, but it was just inappropriate, if you can understand the difference. Inappropriate in that you should have been more formal. So let's go through it again. I hope this letter finds you well was fine. My name is Andrew Eng, and I will be your guest for the next 2 months through the English and Homestay program. This really should have been at the end, okay? And like I said, use the bullets as your guide for how you should organize your paragraphs, okay? That's essentially what it's there for. It's just like speaking part 2. Use the order of the questions to be your guide for your outline because they've thought about this quite a bit. So for them to put it in the way they've put it, that's the way you should probably structure your answer. So I wouldn't have included all of this here. I would have instead included a few details about yourself, like the thing about being a physician, uh, and maybe some details about you personally. All right, so let's skip this for now. This is awkward. We don't say I am a physician student. We say I am a medical student from Wuhan, China. Okay, a very appropriate location right now. I am a medical student from Wuhan, China. I do not smoke. And I have an advanced level of English, so I hope, no comma, I will not bother and burden you too much. All right, all of this was really part of your introduction. It should have gone up a little higher. I have some questions about the UK and ask you for some advice. You're not really asking for advice, you're asking for information. And would like to ask you for some information about living there. Now, here's where you got into some problems. You had a lot of direct questions here. Because this is a formal letter, you want to avoid this. You want to ask more indirect questions. So what do I mean? I mean ones where the question is not so in your face obvious. Instead of do I need some cash in the UK, by the way, cash is a really informal word, you could have said, please let me know if I should have some money with me or if I am able to use a credit card wherever I go. Also, please let me know if you advise me to bring some warm clothes other than a jacket for this time of year. With regard to my walking about the area, will I be able to ask police officers questions if I get lost? Lastly, could you let me know how expensive the mobile internet in the UK is? Okay, so what you really need to do here is you absolutely need to revise how we write and how we use indirect questions in English. They're far more formal, far more polite than these direct questions that you have used here, okay? So then the last thing should have been, I will arrive, etc., etc., and I believe that I will be in front of your house at 11 a.m. Okay, well, tell them that, you plan to take a taxi, you plan to take a bus, you plan to take a horse and buggy, whatever. But tell them this in that last little paragraph, okay? And then, of course, you should have a nice closing. I look forward to hearing from you soon. You could say, I'm really looking forward to this experience and spending time with you and your family. That would have been nice as well, okay? So, like I said, because I've been seeing a lot of your work recently, I think this could have been better. I've seen better work from you. So I really would like to see you fix some of the mistakes here, okay? Let's take a look at your task 2 now. This is about staying in the same job for your entire career. Let's see what you wrote. And it looks fine. It looks like it's about 270 maybe. Yep, 269. I have a very good eye. So 269 words, which is fine. It's not super developed, but it's fine. Anyway, let's see what you said. Staying in the same job. Experts throughout both the developed and developing worlds have debated how frequently employees should change their jobs. Again, you're not asking a question here. Even though you had the word how is not it's not acting like a question word. So you need sentence form. How frequently employees should change their jobs. Some people believe that the best option is to work at the same place during the entire life, during one's apostrophe F life, apostrophe S, sorry. Whereas others with an S think that it is important to switch jobs from time to time. While both standpoints are valued, I personally support the positives of switching more. All right, that's fine. I like that your viewpoint was clear, so that's fine. Let's see what you wrote. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that people who work at the same place for many years are much more effective than beginners. This is largely because they have a lot of experience and know their duties inside and out. For example, recent research by WHO demonstrated that doctors who had 10 years of experience made 2 times fewer, not less, careful with that, mistakes. You see, fewer and less. One is used with countable nouns and one is used with uncountable. So make sure you're using it with the appropriate kind of noun. So 2 times fewer mistakes in diagnoses, it should be ES, compared to doctors with only 1 year of experience. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that working at the same place for one's whole life, again, 1 apostrophe S, could significantly improve the performance of specialists. Okay, that's fine. On the other hand, it should be taken into account that people who never change their jobs could easily miss their real vocations. Oh, that's interesting. The central reason behind this here is that initially you know too little about your strengths and what jobs really are. For instance, an extensive study by the UK government showed that job satisfaction among 30-year-old employees its job satisfaction, one thing, is 40% higher in comparison with 50-year-olds as the young generation changes jobs more often. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that changing jobs is extremely important to find your vocation. Okay. From the argument examples given, it can be clearly seen that it is better to change the job periodically. Okay, better to change jobs, plural. All right, get rid of the. This was good. Obviously, I corrected some of the grammar throughout. There was nothing that created incoherence. There wasn't any glaring problem with your grammar, although I did have to correct it throughout the essay. Your vocabulary was really rather good. Your so yeah, let's start with that. The vocabulary was rather good. All right, so no problems there. The grammar was clearly not accurate throughout. I had to correct it throughout, but it wasn't problematic. So it was fine. It was okay. All right. As far as coherence and cohesion are concerned, I think you should have reversed these paragraphs, because this is the paragraph that you support and this is the paragraph you don't support. And so it's better to end with the paragraph that you do support. It gives it more weight. It acts like an anchor. So it's a good idea to put it at the end of your essay. So first, what you don't really support, and second, what you do support. And then I thought you could have said a little bit more about this rather than just talking about vocation, etc., etc. I think there was more you could have said. I mean, it was fine in terms of the word count, but I do think that if you had developed it a little further, you would have been okay. I think it would have added some depth to this and some more insight, because you had ideas. I could tell you had ideas. So I don't want you to be afraid of expressing them. Okay, I'm also really interested to hear how long this essay took you. You know that you're supposed to take about 40 minutes to write your task 2. Did it take you 40 minutes? Did you have time to correct? Did you have some time to spare? Those are some things I'm really interested in learning about, because if you've got some time, I'd like to see you work on deepening your answers and going a little more in detail, a little more in depth, so that you can potentially get a higher task achievement score. Okay, so please let me know in your next email about the questions I'm asking you. So go ahead, Artem, correct these essays, and let's see the next step from you. All right, I'll be looking forward to them. So good luck.